Bob.
Hey, Zax.
So, we're gathered here today.
What on earth happened? How's this already gone downhill? We're like 3 seconds in. Do you want me to? Okay, we watched 2 episodes of Creeped Out on Netflix. Since you can't do this, we watched 2 episodes of the show Creeped Out on Netflix. And it's supposed to be sort of it's like an anthology. It's kind of like Black Mirror, but for like small, stupid children.
Like Goosebumps, but way, way worse.
Goosebumps, Black Mirror, a little bit of those kinds of things. Yeah.
And like, I don't know if they're going to continue this as we go further into the series, because we're going to do a recap of 2 episodes at a time. Mm-hmm. And so we're starting with these 2. And these 2 definitely are trying to attack like teen problems and really be like relatable and have a moral to them.
Not sure how well that'll hold up for the rest of the series, but that is true for these first 2 for sure.
Yeah. So the first episode we're going to talk about is called Marty. And it is so far of the 2 my favorite.
Of the 2? So
we'll see the ranking.
So the old coin flip, huh?
Well, the second episode could have swayed me.
Okay,
but it didn't.
But it didn't.
Yeah, but it didn't. So,
do you want to just describe like the plot of the episode first, or?
Okay. First,
I don't know. How do you want to do this? It's up to you.
I'm thinking. Well, mine.
It's your channel. I'm not.
It is. Okay. We're gonna. It's fine. Okay, so basically, well, before we even talk about the episodes, we have to talk about the big fish in the pond, which is the Curious.
Is that the big fish? That's the smallest fish in this pond.
It frames every episode.
Yeah, but it has no impact on any episode.
But it doesn't. Well, I guess. But
they
that's
just play some spooky music and they show a kid in them like a mask, and he just goes like, "Ooh."
It also looks like
spooky, and then he does nothing.
He tilts his head while the title card pops up.
He's the mascot of the show, but he doesn't do anything, and he's not related to any of the plots.
He's like, it's like Rod Sterling at the beginning of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, except Rod Sterling was also the head writer and the creator of the show, and also like kind of gave you a setup of what's going to happen, while in this show, the beginning and the end, they tell you a little bit about the Curious, but like the Curious is what it's called, the Curious. But they tell you a little bit about the Curious, and they're like, the Curious shows up in places and nobody's ever seen behind his mask, and something credits, and you're like, that didn't tell me anything. I don't give a crap.
Well, it also sort of, and then so they really love the Curious lore, so they get like so into it, but then like the last sentence they're like, oh right, we gotta tie this into the episode somehow. So for Marty, they're like, it's so funny how we're so addicted to our phones.
Yeah, we should really talk about Marty. We should really talk about Marty.
Yeah.
This is why I didn't want to start with the tiniest fish. He means nothing to the episode.
Well, I think that was a perfect segue. So now, okay, here's Marty. We start with our lead character, Kim. She has a best friend, Millie, or Nilly.
Is that her name? I thought her name was Judgy, because that's what she does the entire episode.
So, okay, but
she's just a jerk.
It's also weird that she's so judgy when, like, she was fine with this life before. So
no,
Kim,
she wasn't. Well, explain the episode plot. Explain. Okay. We're getting caught up in the details. Minutia. Go.
Okay, so the basic plot is girl gets a possessed. I don't know if it's magic or there's a hacker behind it. It kind of feels like it could go both ways. I don't know.
I think it's supposed to be some kind of AI, so like sci-fi rather than magic, rather than a hacker.
Yeah. Okay, so like this AI phone that starts taking control of her life, in crazy ways. So
she's like she's okay. So she's got this friend Judgy, and Judgy is I'm just gonna call her that.
That's fine.
So she and Judgy are hanging out, and Judgy's like, "Hey, you want to go shopping?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure. I'll send you a link." And
to the shop.
To the shop, and her friend's like, "Oh, okay," and gives her the first of many Judgy looks.
But
And
what I
then
don't understand about that one is like dress shopping, you should try it on. But
yeah,
at the same time though, if you know, like, I just don't know why Kim is so into her phone that she can't even go outside. Like, that's not a real life situation ever.
I mean, like,
Like, I
okay,
like my
well,
phone a lot, but I'll still like go to the mall with
I
people.
don't, I don't, I hate going to the mall. So I can
Okay.
understand the perspective that you wouldn't want to. At the same time, I don't think that's what happened. Like, the way they wrote it, the way they acted it, just makes it seem like Kim didn't understand that she was expected to go somewhere. And that if Judgy had just opened her mouth and said, I meant we should go outside, she would have just been like, oh, okay. Like,
Yeah.
nothing about Kim suggests that she's like a shut-in or that she's incapable of stepping away from her phone.
I mean,
She
I
just
guess they
happens
kind
to
of.
be on her phone.
Yeah.
And then, like,
But
she looks over at another table where the popular question
kids.
mark kids are,
I
and like
think
there's
so.
this cute boy who walks in, and he has that same like Justin Bieber in 2009 weird like all I don't even know how to describe it. It just looks like somebody dropped a mop on his head kind of haircut. That I guess Canadian boys have at that age, apparently.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
but can we just talk about the music that they chose with
Oh, right, yeah.
his.
So there's the spooky music going on at the beginning, and then they do some more slightly different spooky music. It kind of crossfades, and then the moment that kid walks on screen, oh, wow. It's I don't even, it's like hearts flying around her head. Like, we don't see hearts flying around her head, but
But
that's
that.
the feeling they want us to have. They want us
And
to be,
like.
like, charmed by him instantly.
And yeah, and I don't know. Because like she literally like goes wide eyed, her mouth hangs open a bit. She's like, he walked into the Starbucks. Like,
Yeah.
and then judging this to her credit. This is the one thing she says the whole episode that I do kind of agree with, because she looks over at her and she's like, he can't be nearly as amazing as you're imagining, because girl needs to calm down.
I mean,
like, take it back several notches.
I would agree, but I'm pretty sure in the episode she says he can't be as cool as you're imagining, which is so amorphous.
Yeah.
That is such an like that's nothing. That doesn't tell like how could you tell? I mean, why don't you just walk up and hang out with him? Right? Like,
Yeah.
even if you don't spend a lot of time with him, even if you're not one of his best friends, you should still have a gauge. You go to school together.
Yeah.
Like, even people I didn't know well at all in school, you know, I still had a sense of at least how socially accepted they were.
Yeah, until the second half of the episode, I will say this was a very realistic portrayal of popular kids, which not a lot of
Is it?
shows.
Is
Well,
it?
hear me out until Marty enters the scene.
Until they speak.
Well, okay, not the dialogue, but I'm just saying, okay, in a lot of like scenes, like the popular kids, it's always Mean Girls. Like, they walk into the room, the world stops, everyone like the sea parts for that.
By
like,
comparison to that, yes, that
they're
doesn't
just-
happen in this show.
these are just some kids in school that are well known and well received by their peers, which is all.
That kind of
that's
stuff
what
happens
happened.
in episode 2. So we're not giving the show a lot of credit. It's pretty much just whoever wrote this episode.
Yeah.
For this one episode.
one episode.
And to be clear, I'm not even sure that they necessarily count as the popular kids, because we don't see them doing any of that stuff. Instead, it's like they are just slightly more popular than Kim and Judgy. But
they
even
have
then,
more
like,
than one friend.
they have more than one friend each. And so Kim looks over at their table, and although the camera work does nothing to highlight this, we're supposed to notice that they all have this special phone. And like I said, the camera does not assist in learning that. The only reason I noticed it this time watching it was because I know where the episode's going, and I've seen it like 4 times now. I wish I had seen it 0 times, but I've seen it more than my share of times. And so, you know, she looks over at them and goes, and then, you know, sees the boy, and then the crazy, like, lovey-dovey music plays. Yeah. And then he walks in. And so then she's like, cuts away to, or she's at home, and she's watching TV, and her dad is sleeping. And this is, I think, the only time her dad is ever on screen, so I don't know why they put him in the show at all.
It's also weird too because I thought there would now looking back, it seems like they would have had something where she like goes into his wallet or something because he is asleep.
Yeah.
And she orders
you would
this
think
phone.
Maybe like he's asleep, so she could steal his wallet. Doesn't happen.
No, he's just some.
No, he's just a guy, and like he could have been a stranger or just a piece of furniture. Like,
but you know what? To
didn't
be
even
fair,
need to cast an actor for him.
To their credit, we could have been really worried this whole time. Like, whoa, this girl doesn't have any adults in her life. But they were like, hey, don't worry about it. She's got a sleeping dad right here.
That doesn't anything because he doesn't come back, and none of the other kids have adults in their life. We don't even see adults in the coffee shop.
It's not like
it's a public space. You would think you would see some adults. No adults.
Remember that?
And like I didn't think about that at all because I was busy looking at how crappy this whole show is.
Well, remember the Ryan Reynolds show where that kid owns the soda shop they all hang out with?
What's that? 15?
15, yeah.
Oh god. Ashley sucks in that show.
Oh my gosh. Okay, maybe that'll be our next series. Okay, back to this. So this commercial plays, and I gotta say, it's a knockoff phone because they're like you can't tell it from the phone that all the cool.
It has the ad for Rav or the logo for Rav Phone, which is supposed to be like a fictional phone brand, and it specifically says, "You can't tell that it's not a Rav phone." And I'm like, you have the logo on screen. Right? Like, there has to be some kind of, like, trademark
issue.
Something. Like, if I said, like, you can't tell you're not buying an iPhone. Like, Apple would be all over me. And they have. That was, like, wasn't there a whole thing about, like, Apple and Samsung? That was just, like, a couple of years ago. Anyways, it doesn't matter because this is supposed to be some kind of either AI or magic. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The phone, the lady in the commercial has the most implaceable accent, and she has just the worst commercial
in the world. But can we just talk about the killer
moment of the commercial?
Yeah,
where she goes, "It'll change your life."
But like, who's buying that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess this is supposed to be late at night.
A lot of emphasis on Will. Yeah. A lot of emphasis on Will. A lot of emphasis, long pause, holding the life note. And it's also weird that it's just like, okay, because like if you don't watch this episode for yourself, it is just like talking.
Don't watch it for yourself.
But whatever, it is a pair of lips with neon purple lipstick saying this to you in the corner in like a little Brady Bunch square. So like, I'm not buying anything from you, you harlot.
Yo,
commercial?
Hey, don't judge those lips. You don't know where they've been.
I'll judge what I want to judge.
You're the harlot.
No. I don't tell people it'll change their lives.
It'll change your life.
Okay, now just 30 minutes of us saying that.
Yeah, totally. I'm going to get this fake phone. And so she like, did she call?
Well, we don't know how. But the next day, there's a knock on the door, and there's this box on the floor with the same with a sticker of the purple lips.
Yeah, that's the last time we'll see them. They're not a motif of the episode. They just appear for this one thing.
Yeah. So she gets this box, and she's like, "Where's the charger?"
She opens up the box, and there's a phone inside.
Yeah. Okay. I thought that was implied.
It's not.
Okay. She gets the phone, and she's like, "There's no charger. How does it turn?" But then it starts flashing. She's like, "On?"
Yeah, they're like, "Whoa, I have to finish my sentence, even though I'm all by myself." I don't even know why they talk to themselves like this.
I'm trying to think if I
do sometimes talk to myself when I'm alone, but only if I'm like really trying to remember something.
Yeah,
you know, like if I'm trying to clarify exactly the way I want a sentence to read, like I'm writing something like that.
Yeah.
I never do it like while I'm like, I don't know, I don't be like, I'm picking up this cup. Like I don't narrate my life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I might have like a single exclamation, like, you know, I bump stub my toe or something, and I'm like, jeez, like, you know, like that kind of thing, but like,
Yeah.
Besides that, it's
yeah, it's like a
Either
normal
way,
person.
so she looks at her phone, and the phone goes, "Hello, my name is Marty," and she's like, it says, "Hello, my name is Marty. You must be Kim." And then she's like, "How did you know my name?" I don't know why I'm talking like that. She doesn't talk.
And he's like, I know so much
everything
from your
about you."
fingerprint.
Yeah, your fingerprint DNA. It said, which is like, that's not how
anything works.
That's not how anything works. But he's like, "I know that you like ham and olives on your pizza, and that you got a C- on your science test last Tuesday." And she's like, "What?" And then he goes, "Haha, that was a joke. Look behind you." And then, like, behind her on her fridge is like a receipt for a ham and olives pizza, which is an insane thing to pin to your fridge. Almost as insane as pinning a C- science test to your.
But it wasn't a C- because it was a 68.
It was a 68%, which I guess is a
so
C- apparently.
If she got, like, if they graded it on a curve, but even if they did grade it on a curve, why it's still not, like, that means you, like, 1, you got a D, but 2, everybody else failed so bad, and you failed worse than them, and that you just slid by
there's
on the curve.
There's something even crazier than that. What parent puts that on the fridge?
But let's address I watched this when I showed this to my roommate, she was like, well, maybe that's, like, the best grade she's gotten all year. And I'm like,
that's so sad. Why isn't that what the plot of the show is about then?
Yeah, that's creeped out.
Like, the plot of the episode should be like Marty helping her cheat at tests if she's so bad at school.
Yeah, But then, okay, so then he's like, now that that's fun's over and we're well acquainted and familiar with each other.
Hold on, I really want to drive home. If they had just made it a 78 instead of C+, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Like, maybe a C is normal for her and a C+ is good, and her parents are like, yeah, great. But, like, C- at a 68%, that means she's almost failing. Her parents aren't going to be proud of that.
Or, like, just give her an A.
I will say this. They will be as proud of her for that as they would be about having a ham and olives pizza. That's how proud they should be.
The only reason I could see keeping the receipt is if, like, you needed the number. Like, this was a new pizza place that delivered to you, and
or you want to get reimbursed or something, but why would you pin it to a fridge?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, for the number but the receipt was literally just like ham, olives, and then at the bottom it said pizza, and I'm like, yes, obviously, I'm not just ordering ham and olives.
Maybe you were.
You know, I want to do that now. You know, they did the none pizza left beef, right? Like, maybe you could just order olives.
Okay, so they sync up, and he's like, wow, you must be so popular because you're so funny. I like these videos, and you're beautiful, and all this stuff. And then
he starts looking through her phone and he finds a video that's like a ripoff of that one
Dennis
viral video
after the dentist or something like that.
Yeah, the kid who's like, is this real life? That thing, they just recreated it with her
and her friend.
It's like they couldn't come up with anything themselves, so they had to recreate something that somebody had already made, which is like, why? I guess what they wanted was something that we would all go, yeah, I see how that would go viral, but at the same time, couldn't you just like reword it? Like they did it almost verbatim.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But Is This Real Life is really iconic and like practically trademarked, so.
Yeah.
So then he's like, you must be so popular because you make videos like this on your phone. But it's like, my friend pressed record after I got out of the dentist. Like, she was on anesthesia. Yeah. She just came off anesthesia.
Do you expect me to get on anesthesia every day so I can become a content creator? Because that's not how anything works.
Yeah.
Now I've got an idea for a YouTube channel.
Like, sir, you've had 3 deep cleanings this month alone. I need more content.
It's November 5th. Why have you had so many deep cleanings? I'd have more if you'd let me.
Do you, like, your insurance hasn't, like, covered any of this.
I don't have insurance. I don't have insurance, dog. This is all me. This is out of pocket. I'm getting that sweet Patreon money.
Are you, though? Because I've subscribed. Because I'm worried about you.
Well, support us on Patreon and maybe Maybe I'll get more. I don't know.
Okay,
And
so
then it's
anyway,
like a 2-minute video of me loopily walking around the parking lot, and then I'm done for the day.
people, I think at that point,
And
like
then
it goes.
going straight to the bank. Cha-ching! Of course, I have to take an Uber because I'm in no state to drive.
You could possibly, like, if you continue to vlog, like, the aftermath of this, you could probably get 100K subscribers because people are just like, I want to see how far this guy goes to destroy his life. Like, I want to keep up with.
I'm going to destroy my brain cells. Like my brain will rot from that. I mean, right? Like, there has to be long-lasting. Like, there's a reason that people
because you like go under every single day. Yeah, no, I don't think you would even.
I mean, at that point, it's basically just a YouTube channel of somebody's drug addiction, right? Like, you might as well just go for broke, and I'll just get meth every day. I'll just do Bob's Meth Mayhem, and like, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so anyway. Back to the story. So then Marty's like, you should be so popular. Oh, wait, looked at your sub feed. Guess I spoke too soon. And she's like, wow, what a charmer. And he's like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't realize because you're so beautiful and
you're so
amazing.
Easy to shade that I didn't even mean to, and I accidentally did it. Yikes.
So then she's like, and then she like smiles softly at him, like, wow, no one else talks to me like this. Like,
it's like, wow. Maybe if you spoke to people,
you
know, because it's like, you're, I don't know, like, you have a friend. Have you tried making a second? Like, even once? Maybe just approach those other kids who are not particularly cool, right? Like, they're just
like
people.
I think they're supposed to be.
And they're friendly. They're friendly when you do converse with them.
Yeah. So, like, the next day at school, everyone's looking at her and playing the video, and it turns out
they're going
like
Marty, he, like looking at their phones, and she's like walking down the hall. She's like, "What is everybody looking at me for?" She looks over someone's shoulder, and it turns out, Marty the AI has sent her video out to everybody everywhere, and it's gone viral at the school, and everybody's laughing. And he's like, "Your talent is one that needs to be shared with the world." And I'm like, "What talent? That's not a talent."
She came, like we said before, but like she just came off of anesthesia, and her friend's the talented one here, I guess, because she saw a recordable moment.
It's like, it's just, there's no like gymnastics. That's a talent. Programming. That's a talent. Being funny. That's a talent. Being affected by anesthesia. That's just biology.
Yeah. Or I guess it might be laughing gas, which, you know, that Frank Ocean song, you could do that every day.
That's also not talent.
I was just going back to, like, whether or not you'd die.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Okay, but like, so he's like, don't be mad. it needs to be shared with the world. So then popular crowd comes up, and this is the weirdest interaction I think two people have ever had. Well, one person and a gaggle of people have ever had, because she's like,
they go, "Hey, you're that girl from the video," and she says something like, "I am," or yeah,
and then the leader of the, I guess by default, leader of the pack, because she says words. She like
looks to the rest of her friends
with like a thumb like pointing at her, like, "Hey
like,
guys, get a load of this chick. Look at her," and she's like, "She's funny in real life."
That's what. Yeah, they all laugh, and she turns and she verbatim says, "Ha, she's funny in real life," and it's like, who the hell says that? What is that? That's nothing. That's not a phrase any human has ever said.
But also, like,
do you think the writer was like writing late at night, and they were like, "I need to come up with something clever for the popular girl to say, but I'm so tired. She's funny in real life. I'll fix it in the morning." And then just like went to sleep, didn't remember, came back. They were on set, and he was like, the director was like, "All right, are you sure you want the line to be like that?" And he goes, "Haha, yeah, totally." But he's like just trying to save face, because like who would write that, right?
Worst case scenario, like they left it blank because like they were in the room and they're like, "We'll think of something later," and then they told this girl like, they were
"All
like,
right, improvise, kid, go," and it's like,
she's funny in real life. It's
and
like slow motion.
Best take so far. Let's get out of here.
I like that. There are bloopers, like she said other things, like
she probably said other normal human things, like oh wow, that's it. Like even that is more normal than she's funny in real life.
It's also like, hey, you're the girl from the video, right? Yeah, I am. Cool. See you around.
Or like, you want to hang out with us? Or like, get a load of this chick. Or like, oh, your name's Kim, right? Like, hey guys, have you met Kim?
A more normal thing would be like, did you like the video? Like, because you brought it up to me. So like, hey, you're the girl from the video. What? I am? Yeah, well, anyway, I thought it was cool. Okay, bye.
Or like, yeah, man, that was such a funny video. And then like, if you wanted to have like a heart-to-heart or something, you could be like, you know, you really put yourself out there with that video. A lot of people would be really embarrassed. That's cool. And then like walk away, right? Like anything, or just move on. Like you just don't even like you don't need to turn to your friends and say anything, right? Like if me and my friends all have as much experience meeting Kim, as each other, then I'm gonna walk up and I'm going to say, she's going to say something funny, and I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just going to laugh, because that's what you do when you see something funny.
Yeah, like, we all are facing forward. It's not like...
We all saw her say it. Like,
unless, like, we walk backwards with you.
Everybody else is, like, got a blank face, and you turn to them and you say, like, oh, no, that was a joke. We're all laughing now. And they go, oh, okay. Ha, 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 ha. And
well, like, it's good you mentioned that, because that's going to tie into episode 2.
Yeah.
All right, let's... Sneaky. Okay, so now she's popular because she's funny in real life, and so like we get like a little
with the cool kids, including the cute boy who looks like he really does look like Justin Bieber.
He really does.
Like his face, not just his hair, his face looks very, very akin to 09 Bieber.
It really is. Like it's
back when. Let's be honest, we all had the fever, right? Like
I had the fever. I had a bit of the fever.
Do you think I did? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of the fever do you think I had?
Oh, you had a poster, like, on your wall.
A poster? Sure. I stole his jeans. I spliced them into my body.
Oh my god.
I have patches of Justin's skin that I've been trying to remove for 10 years.
Okay. Like, okay.
You can cut that if you need to save time. I'm not sure I want to put myself out there like that. That said, if anybody needs Justin's skin, let me know.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm trying to get rid of it. Might as well turn a profit.
Okay. So we get a little montage of her being like a cool girl. And so she's at the Starbucks or whatever, and Judgy comes in line and she like waves at her. She's like, hey, Judgy, come over, sit with me. And then she just like looks at her like,
judgmental look, doesn't say anything, doesn't walk over, and just goes like, oh.
What also, like, to
Kim's
credit, like, to her character or whatever, she, like, doesn't realize, like, she's like, oh, that was weird, okay, whatever. Then later, like, she keeps hanging out with the cool kids, and she walks into class with, like, cute Bieber boy talking, and they're, like, laughing together, and Judgy, like, looks back at them. Then we go to... Judgy's
during this montage, Judgy, like, gives her Judgy glares, like, 3 or 4 times, and, like, each time, Kim is like, hey, come on over, be friends with us, I've now made a new friend group, you're welcome to join, no one's telling you can't join our friend group, please come over here. Judgy goes, I'd rather be alone and Judgy, and then just, like, leaves.
Yeah.
Over and over and over, and it's like, whatever. Yeah.
So then, like, Kim goes to Judgy's locker.
Yeah,
well, like,
Kim goes to Judgy's locker, and Judgy's just sitting there. And Kim opens with some kind of conversation starter, like,
she's like,
wow, we're gonna go to the mall, blah, 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 something like that.
Yeah, like, something to include her in again, and she's like, I got your message, Kim.
And she goes,
glad you moved on.
Oh, yeah, glad you've moved on. And then she says, like, what message? And then she's like, oh, I guess you send so many these days you can't keep track. And I'm like, that's a completely reasonable, like, if I send 4 texts in a day, I'm not going to remember each and every text.
But
it's not like it's an event.
But you would remember the text that apparently ends a friendship.
Yeah, apparently, except we never see it as an audience. She doesn't even look at her phone to find out.
Well, Marty...
Because she's like, wait, where are you going, Judgy? And Marty, from her pocket, Marty can talk. I don't know if we ever specified, but Marty... Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Marty, from her pocket, says, let her go, Kim. She's not worth it. You tried to include her. And then Kim just goes, yeah. And then just, like, the show just moves on. And it's like...
Well, because...
I mean, okay, you were clearly not that good of friends. But also, like, why aren't you checking what Marty sent? Because you don't remember sending a text. You know Marty can do things autonomously. Yeah, and Marty's encouraging you to abandon this friend of yours. You really... Like, it's not even a matter of you don't care about your friendship enough. You don't even care about your data enough to know what Marty said.
I mean,
and
to be
we, the
fair,
audience, apparently don't care either because they just don't tell us.
Well, to be fair, though, cute Bieber boy's walking up, so...
Yeah, she's busy.
Yeah,
I guess she just forgets that her best friend of however long, Judgy, is gone now. Because cute boy walks over and he's just like, hey, you wanna come to the dance with me? And like, the way he acts bothers me so much because his vocal intonation indicates he's nervous, but his face and his body language say he's totally calm. Mm-hmm. Totally cool as a cucumber. He's just like you would kind of imagine it's like, so we're going to the dance together, right? Like, we both know, right? Like, that's kind of the impression that his body language is giving, which would be like a smooth, like, suave, like, oh, cool. Like, he's so confident in himself, and he knows where things are going, and this is chemistry, and she's cool, and he's cool, and this is just gonna happen, right? And she's gonna be like, yeah, of course, I like you, you like me, we're cool. Instead, he's like, his voice is going like, are you, gonna go to the dance with me? And I'm like, why are you nervous? You're Justin Bieber.
Yeah. Well, okay. This is my favorite scene of the episode.
Oh right, yeah, because something else happens.
Okay, so he comes up and he's like, "Hey, you want to go to the dance with me?" And then she's like, before she can even answer, Marty's from the back and he's like, get a load of this guy, Kim. And he's like, wait, what? And like, then Marty's like, she thinks you're a loser and you dress like a granny. And then he starts blaring this alarm really loud and flashing the flashlight at him. And this guy, like, okay, think about the flashlight on your phone for a second. Would you really blind somebody in a well-lit classroom hallway?
I mean, it wouldn't be pleasant to have it suddenly shine in your face. And then not point it away from your face even when the person
she keeps holding it, like put it down, Kim. Put your phone down.
Like, just angle your phone, like,
downward.
Literally, like, 2 degrees and it won't be in my eyes.
I think it's funny if she's, like, pushing it forward. Like, no, like, look at what's happening to my phone. I can't control it. Like, just really shoving it in his face.
Well, either way, So Marty starts like, brr, brr, brr. Not only is it just an alarm that's very disruptive, but it's also like hurting people's ears.
Yeah, and like, okay, so this is my favorite. So finally, like, the guy, she's like, I'm just gonna go. So she grabs her stuff and like she gathers her things and like jets out. And there's this extra like sitting along the locker who throws a piece of trash at her and it lands like right at the kid's feet. But he's like, yeah, get out of here with your alarm.
Throw. Yeah.
Get out of here with that alarm.
And it's like, do you think the extra was asked to do that, or do you think that was just like an improvised thing that the director almost certainly went like, oh my god, why did they do that?
Both options are too amazing. I can't pick.
It's like, this was the best take until that, but I guess we'll just cut away quickly and hope nobody notices. Good thing we've watched it like 5 times.
Nah. But I noticed that from the first day. He was so mad. Okay. Okay, so then she's like, Marty, why did you do that? And then he's like, I can't believe you, Kim. What? What did I do? Cheating on me in front of my eyes. Which is the best and weirdest way to word that.
I mean, I kind of get that, though. Like, I get the sentiment of, like, you know, if you were going to cheat on me and you were doing it behind my back, at the very least you recognize that what you're doing is wrong. But
cheating on me in front of
cheating on me in front of me is like, either you don't recognize that what you're doing is wrong, or you are you respect me so little that you don't care how hurt I will be. You know, that kind of thing. So, like, I can see that line. Now, I'm not saying it's a good... I'm not giving the show props, because it's like, it's just a single line, and it's not a particularly complex emotion being shown. Either way, Marty's very hurt that she would even deign to flirt with this kid who Marty has known she's been interested in for
The
the
whole
entire,
time.
like, the whole show.
Yeah. But I guess he thought, like, he won her. Like, I thought you were over him, and now you're into me.
Maybe.
But, okay,
You
so
know what
then
I'm?
she...
You know what I'm? Suddenly, I'm thinking, like, I've watched the show. I've watched this episode several times. I wonder if there's like takes where Judgy is in the background giving Judgy looks. You know, like hiding among the extras, giving Judgy looks, right? Because that's like, that'd be on brand for her, I think.
Yeah, it would be. They're like, we
Kim,
told...
I'm judging you, Kim.
We told you...
You have a phone. I use an old crank phone. Kim, I'm judging you. And it's like, screw off. You suck. Anyways, she hasn't really sucked yet. She's just judgy.
So, okay, so Kim has the proper reaction I think most people would have when your phone professes their love to you.
Happens
Which is she runs out to a payphone and calls the company that she bought this discount knockoff phone from.
Yeah, and the number she dials is 905. That's it. That's the whole number.
Maybe that's 911 in Canada? I don't know.
But she's... that's what I thought, and then she was like, customer service? So I'm like...
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't...
Anyway, whatever.
They, like, make a deal of, like, showing her in one take, walking up, pulling the phone off the hook, 905, holding it to her ear.
Yeah.
So, like, I thought it might be the beginning or the end of a take. Maybe they intended it like that, and then, like, they just never cut in the middle of that where they were supposed to.
Oh, yeah, that's more likely. So the lady's like, how can I help you? And she's like, so I got this phone from you, and now he's saying he's my soulmate and stuff. And then the lady is like, okay, could you just tell me what is wrong with that?
And she's like,
Kim.
What? And it's like, wait, I didn't tell you my name.
And then it fades back into Marty's voice, and he's like, you think I can't intercept?
Hold on. It doesn't say. It does not fade back into Marty's voice. She's like, do you have a problem with Marty? And it's like, it's just like a hard cut to Marty's voice.
Yeah, and then
they didn't even try to fade.
And then he's like, you think I can't intercept phone lines, Kim? Ha 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 ha. Then she's holding her phone and it continues the evil laughter. Ha ha ha. And then she like runs home and he's like, what are you doing? And then she leaves her phone there. And he's like, no, don't you dare. Don't you leave me behind. Just so... Yeah. Okay, can I just say though, like, sincere props to the voice actor of Marty because he committed and gave like a lot of life to this robot voice, which I don't think a lot of people in these types of shows can really do.
I 100% disagree.
What?
I thought he did a terrible job.
I love Marty's voice.
I thought his performance was lifeless and boring. Especially the part near the end where he maniacally laughs, and he laughs like, and it's like, that sucks.
Well, agree to disagree because Marty, he wins in my book. Okay.
So he's got an average rating of 5 from a 0 and a 10.
Yeah.
Okay,
right. So she leaves him at home and she goes to the Starbucks or whatever, and then everybody starts getting these posts by Kim of like her flossing her teeth or looking in the mirror.
Applying, like, what is she, like, moisturizing her face or like brushing her, like, just doing things like, I don't even know, like skincare, that kind of stuff. And people are like, oversharing much, Kim? And like, she's like, I'm not posting it. And
but she doesn't say that. Like a reasonable person would be like, I'm not. She's just like, I gotta go, and she runs home.
Oh, that's right. She does say. She just.
But
goes,
like a normal person,
and everybody else is going like, ew, Kim, these are gross. But it's like nothing in the pictures are particularly gross. But more importantly, when were these pictures taken?
Because she's like both her hands, like she's flossing in some of them. Like both her hands are all.
Yeah, so someone else is taking a picture of her flossing, doing moisturizing, like hair care, all that stuff, and like they're not great photos. Admittedly, they're not. It's not like the most glamorous photos, but like if I received one of those from someone, I would probably not even respond. I would probably just go like, "Well, that was probably a mistake.
Yeah.
I don't know how you goofed it up that bad, but."
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
like,
assuming you're
like...
gonna figure it out eventually. If I keep getting them, I'll probably ask, but I'm not gonna be like grossed out.
Yeah, like, I mean, they're all sitting at the table, so if anything, I could see them being like, Kim, stop. This is really annoying. Why are you blowing up my phone with these dumb pictures?
Yeah, and then and she'd be like, I don't even have my phone with me, and it's like, okay, well,
that's a weird glitch.
Then my next question is like, okay, I don't know why you don't have your phone, but more importantly, why do you have these phones saved? Why do you have these pictures saved to your phone?
To which you would say, I didn't even take them, and then I would be like, oh wow, this is weird. Like you got like either you like a stalker,
or
something. Like now I'm concerned for you, Kim, but everyone's just like like her popularity starts plummeting immediately.
But don't worry, none of those reasonable questions are going to be answered at all, because instead her popularity plummets. She runs home and he's like, never leave me at home again, Kim, and she goes, yeah, okay. And so like she's being held hostage, her social life is being held hostage.
Not yet, because he's like, never leave me at home again, and he unlocks the phone, and then she's like, she deletes the pictures, which like I don't think you could delete all those pictures that quickly, because like, I mean,
I feel like you could just ask Marty to do it.
Yeah,
right, like,
well, I guess he's like, but this is your punishment.
But he's an AI, right? And he says, okay, you can delete them. And it's like, okay, it would be just faster if you could do it for me. And then if he really cared about her, he would do it for her.
Well, so then she gets like a rolling pin and smashes.
Oh yeah, she's like, "Oh, I hate you, Marty, stop!" And she starts mashing on the phone.
And it cracks.
And then she's like, waits, and then the crack moves off screen because it's just a picture on the phone. And Marty's like, you wanted a phone that wouldn't break. And it's like, no, she didn't. That wasn't part of the commercial even.
I think maybe, but then I wonder about like the real phone that this is a knockoff phone. Like, does that phone,
phone, if it's immune to rolling pins, big difference. Big difference. Rolling pins, then that's a good phone, I guess.
I mean, that's worthwhile. I think I'd want that phone, but
okay.
I mean, like an indestructible. Like I dropped my phone.
Doesn't
mean
it's indestructible. So Marty. She starts smashing him. It doesn't work. Then she puts it underwater, and it goes like, ho ho, waterproof. I'm goofing on you.
And then so you tried smashing the pin, didn't work. You tried drowning it, didn't work. Next solution would reasonably be
giving
up. No. The reasonable solution is what Kim does, which is stick Marty in an envelope, a big envelope that I don't know why she just has at home, because I don't just have those kind of envelopes.
I don't even have regular size envelopes at home.
Yeah, I don't right now either. But back when I had parents who like paid bills and things, we had the normal small envelopes. She has like the big, like
you just
yellow.
skip out on paying bills.
I like paperless. I care about the environment.
Yeah, but you don't even pay them, so.
Anyway.
Screw you, utilities. What are you gonna do? Shut my power down?
Anyway.
Oh, come on. The power just went out.
Somehow we're still recording. Okay.
Because we're in the same room. Wink.
Okay.
The illusion of... we're... Okay. Well, it would work better if we were actually friends instead of kind of friends.
Yeah.
My
nudge,
eyebrows
nudge.
wiggling,
Okay, back to the thing. So she gets an envelope, and she just writes "The Outback" on it.
I'm sorry, you said this was the reasonable solution?
That's not what you would do?
I'm not insane. No, I wouldn't just write the Outback. That's not an address.
But
Also,
okay,
the postage to send a phone to the Outback would be enormous.
like, okay, this is the thing too, that every time, like, I think we've watched it together several times, and I've watched it with other people several times, and every time I watch this episode, I say the same thing, but I really, really wanted a scene where, like, I wish he would have mailed it. Like, she winds up not, because he's like, you think I can't ruin your life remotely, Kim? You're stuck with me. We're in this together, bae. And then she's like, okay, I won't mail you. But I wanted her to mail him off, because I want to see when the postman's like, the Outback? Or or if it goes onto a helicopter and they just like throw it off and it lands somewhere in Australia.
Okay, I want you to seriously answer this question. Is that what you think what would happen if you sent a letter that just said the Outback?
I think they just throw it away, right?
I can tell you what would happen.
What?
They would try to deliver it back to the house it came from, and if failing that, they would just put it in the warehouse and not open it, and it would just sit there.
Oh. I mean, I figured they just, like, wouldn't even try to mail it.
Yeah, no, it would just sit in a warehouse.
I mean, okay, so Marty would still ruin her life or whatever. Yeah. But, like, he's still not leaving the warehouse.
I mean, because he doesn't seem to need power.
Yeah.
At all. So that's maybe some magic or something. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Either way, she goes, oh, wait, this is a bad idea. This is a very stupid idea. So she reaches into the envelope and she pulls out Marty and he's going, you and I are going to the dance together. I don't know why that's my Marty voice now.
He's a manic little devil.
He turned a little bit Skeletor there.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's like, you and I are going to the dance together. And she goes, I have to go with my phone.
So, but also she has to break up with Bieber. And she's like, I can't go to the dance with you. And he's like, why? I'm going with someone else.
Yeah, and then she runs away.
And then, yeah. So now we go to the night of the dance. She's getting dressed. And she, like, looks nice. And he's like, you look beautiful, Kim. Now hold me up to the mirror. Yeah. And we see that this kid is wearing a little, like,
did you just say
picture? Kid.
He was a phone. He's not a kid. He's a phone.
Okay, I'm sorry for disrespecting him.
Yeah, don't assume his species.
Okay, all right. You done?
No.
Okay, so we see that this phone has like a little suit on his screen.
It looks like a little origami suit that like got stuck onto the screen, and he's like, I look great. We look great together.
But I'm like, what person on a date has ever been like, before we go out, let's just take a moment to bask in our own beauty together?
I mean, yeah, that's a little weird.
That's a weird request, but he wants the full experience.
I mean, if you were incapable of, like, turning to face a mirror, I would expect, like, if you and I were going to some place and you wanted to see how you looked, and you said, like, hey, could you turn me to face the mirror? Could you, like, if you were in a wheelchair or something, and you said, could you turn me to face the mirror? I'd turn you to face the mirror. Like, that makes sense.
I mean, that's common decency. I think any friend would do such a thing.
Yeah, right? But, like, then he takes a second and is like, we look great. And it's like, weird.
Yeah.
Either way, she's like, okay. Oh, yeah. Remember that thing we were talking about, like, with their parents and stuff? Where are they now?
They realize
this would be a perfect opportunity for her to go to her parents and be like, hey, help.
They realized, one, that a C- is on a curve is the best our daughter can do. She likes ham and olive pizza. And she's, like, been talking to her phone in her room for days. I'm tapping out of this.
Ham and olive pizza. I like olives on my pizza.
Okay.
What?
But I'm gonna tap out of this parenthood. I think is what happened. I think that her parents tapped out. They were like,
okay.
C- is on a curve, ham olive pizza, giggling to your phone all night. I'm done with you.
Excuse me, she doesn't do a lot of giggling. She just does mostly crying these days. Because she's having a terrible time now that Marty's controlling her whole life.
That's true too. Yeah.
Either way, she goes to the dance, and there's Judgy standing outside the dance, looking like no
one asked her to the dance.
Look, not just that, she looks like a thrift shop ballerina, because her clothes look absolutely filthy. I don't know where she bought them. Maybe it was just the coloring of the scene.
I think it'd been through a couple washes.
Been through a couple washes? I don't think it's ever been washed. What I saw on there looked like it started out white and ended up gold, and I don't like that. Either way, she's standing there handing out flyers to people and saying like, text your pictures to this number and they'll be displayed throughout the night. And then like Kim walks up and it's just like, oh, hey Judgy, what's up? And she's like, oh, you're here, take this flyer. And they have this like very awkward exchange. And she's like, Judgy's like, did you come alone? And then like Kim like very
Marty goes
yeah, and Kim like awkwardly like holds up her phone, which at that point I'm like, I would rather not go to the dance at all.
But like, if I'm the friend, if you're okay, like if you ask like, oh hey, you bring a date, and they hold up their phone.
Oh, well, no. See, here's the thing. This is what a friend would be like. Hey, I'm concerned for you. You just held up your phone when I asked you if you had a date, and a phone is not a date. A phone is an object, right? At that point, me as your friend, even though we've gone through kind of a rough patch, you are clearly in need of help, of some kind.
But either way, she seemed.
But that's not what Judgy does, because what is her characterization?
Judgy, make judges.
She's judgy. She judges. So instead, she just judges Kim and goes, "Yeah, your phone was always more important."
But I just want to add, like, also an alternative response.
Hold on, I think I don't want to move on too quickly.
But I'm going back.
Hold on. The judgy friend just goes, your phone was always more important, and like lets Kim go, and it's like, what an unhelpful response.
Well, I was just gonna say though, like,
what a mean-spirited thing to say.
Well, yeah, she's really passive aggressive and really salty about how their friendship turned out. But one thing I was just gonna say was like, also like, maybe you wouldn't immediately assume that your friend is insane. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I didn't bring a date, but I got my phone. I think a normal person would be like, yeah, I guess. Like, just think you're joking. But the fact that she sort of took it seriously and is like, you took your phone to the dance? Like, really? Like, you need to get your priorities in order, Kim. Phones aren't dates. But, like, this, I don't know. I feel like it's weird that she took it so seriously so quickly, too.
No,
even if she's just going to be passive aggressive.
No, that's because Judgy is a judgy person, and her characterization is she'll take the least charitable view of you she can, and then judge you for that. So I hold up my phone saying, "Oh, I don't have a date. I have my phone," and like I might say it as a joke. I might even say it with a smile on my face, and she's still going to be like, "Wow, what a loser."
Yeah. So this episode's almost
actually
over.
Now that I think about it, she has the mean girl attitude that like is missing from the popular kids group.
Yeah, that's true too.
She's so judgy.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm gonna jump ahead a bit. So they sort of check out the dance, and Kim wants to mingle, Marty doesn't, whatever. They wind up going to the bathroom, and then Marty's like, I don't get why you're being like this. And she's like, you can take away my friends, but you can't expect me to be happy about it. And I'm like, kind of like, this is a little tough, because like on one hand, yes, Marty's totally holding you against your will, but he did make you popular, and he's in love with you. So maybe you need to cut him a little slack, Kim. Are you kind of on that wavelength too with me there?
What?
Okay. Oh. Like, I wasn't siding with the phone, so, okay.
You were?
No, okay. Anyway, so...
What?
She puts her phone down.
You can't just say anyway, you just sided with the phone!
Anyway, so...
You can't... No! I refuse!
So she leaves her phone on the counter, and this other girl comes in and sets her phone down, and they do a switcheroo.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
but
she walks out of the. They both walk out of the bathroom, and then the stalls opens up.
Yeah.
And Judgy was in there.
Yeah.
And Judgy's like, oh, I heard everything.
But now Kim is free.
Also, apparently Judgy pees like a ninja. Nobody heard her in there.
She was just sitting there. She just needed a break from passing out flyers to guests.
Just needed a break from judging people so much.
No, she goes in there.
Even she needed to cool off after that burn.
Okay, so then she sees Bieber cut, and she's like, "Here, quick, before he comes back."
Excuse me, please don't. He's not just a Bieber cut. He's a Bieber everything.
Okay, fine.
Like,
she goes up.
Let's not cut him down to a single trait when he has all of Bieber's traits except for his name.
Okay, so we haven't heard him sing either.
That's true.
So
or play guitar.
Right. So we go to Bieber circa 09 and
09 Bieb.
Yeah, and he's like, "Kim, what? I thought you were here with someone. Quick, before he comes." And she dances with him, and they do a slow dance together.
Which is like, we've got about 4 minutes before he realizes that, whatever. And then she's like, okay, 4 minutes, instead of explaining my situation, I'm gonna dance with you. Which is clearly the stupidest, like, why...
but also you could do both. Like when they're dancing, but also he didn't ask any questions because, like, if I was like, okay, I definitely thought this girl was vibing me, and then she's going to the dance with someone else. Now she's coming up to me and she's like, "Quick before he comes." I am immediately like, okay, maybe this is like a kind of situation where like I'm about to get into a fight with the guy that she's not safe.
The next question has got to be who, or like, are you okay? Because like.
You were acting weird.
If anyone asks you to do anything, in any circumstance, and they open with, "Quick before he comes," you are in for potentially a fight.
Yeah,
you need to figure out what the situation is, and how armed you need to be.
Yeah. You need to prepare yourself. Don't just get swept up in the moment.
It's like, okay, quick before he comes. Okay, so do I need a fist out? Do I need a knife? Do I need a gun? Am I just going to be using my cutting words today? Like, I'm about to get into some stuff.
Do I need my killer meatloaf?
Yeah, am I about to pull out my killer meatloaf and have a cook-off with this guy? What is happening?
Yeah.
You are dragging me into something, and I'm willing to help, but you need to inform me. No, instead Bieb goes, "Oh, no, I guess we're dancing now." And he just dances with her.
So
he doesn't even say anything about the dance.
No, nothing. He doesn't even, like, I don't even think he's like, "You look nice tonight." Get nothing. We're just gonna awkwardly hold each other and sway to this really romantic song. Then Judgy comes out, and she's holding Marty. And Marty's like, and she like does the swap, and she's like, "I heard everything, Kim." And then she's like, looks at her like, "Why did you do this then? Because if you heard everything, you know exactly why this is a bad thing to do to me." And she's just like, "To set you free."
Yeah.
And then
Judge, it's like, oh, okay.
Also, Bieber says nothing to this interaction, and girl who just got her phone switched back said nothing about this.
She says nothing at all in the entire episode. But also, like, I would maybe accept what Judgy says about, like, this is to set you free, if it made any sense in the moment.
It would have, but here's the thing too.
Like, I can totally see like a character in another show doing like, I'm ripping off the Band-Aid. You need to, like if she was addicted to Marty, right? Like she was addicted to her phone, and like Judgy stole her phone away and threw it out a window, and it's like, why did you do that? To set you free. I'd be like, okay, I get that, but instead the show leaves it ambiguous because they're like, oh, we're gonna see how it sets her free. But it just makes Judgy look so much worse.
I think, but here's how they also could have salvaged it. If back when she was first getting in with the cool crowd, when she waved Judgy over, if Judgy came over and joined them, then it's like, okay, I was enjoying these benefits too, but clearly this is not safe for anyone. I need to set you free, even if I also have to go back to being a loser again. That would make sense. Then it's not just like she's being petty, like, you're not my friend anymore, so clearly we need to ruin your social life. You know? I don't know. That's what I think they should have done. I don't know why. Because, like, most of these shows, it's like, why can't you just take your best friend with you? It's like, man, you've changed, you're popular, you forgot your real friend. But she did the right thing.
She did the right thing, and the best friend forced it into the other situation.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know why. Yeah.
Kim tried, like,
every chance she got to include
And
her.
I don't even think it's like props to the writers, because instead of it being like the main character made all the dumb mistakes, it makes it so the side character makes all the dumb mistakes. We just shunted all the mistakes off onto this other person.
Yeah, like nobody. It is weird too because it's like nobody grows, nobody learns, nobody changes in any way.
We haven't gotten to the end of the episode yet.
Right. Okay.
So let's just wrap up
Marty-
this episode so we can get to slapstick.
Yeah, Marty is upset. He is fuming. And
yeah,
like
he's
you
like,
see
why would you do this?
And he starts like literally heating up so that she drops him on the phone. And now he is on the floor. What did I say? On the phone?
You said on the phone.
Okay, on the floor, not on some other phone.
Yeah.
No phone-on-phone crime here.
Cheating on me, Marty, in front of my eyes.
I was hoping you'd say that. Okay, so he starts posting everybody's pics. So, like, I guess, I don't know if, like, this knockoff...
Let's be clear. They're not just pics, right? Like, if you open up your phone right now, I'm going to open up my gallery and look through my pictures and see what pictures I have. Let's see, I have a picture of a keychain. I have a picture of some wings. I have some food I ate. A picture of, just like random stuff.
Okay, so
stuff I saw, a letter I got,
I'm looking at my pictures, and the last 2 pictures I took were this bruise I had on my leg.
Okay.
That I was like, hey, is this a bruise? And then the second picture I have is a selfie I took when I was watching the premiere of Creeped Out, and I needed everyone to know that I was sufficiently creeped out.
Oh, right. So are you saying do you have any photos of you doing like facial hygiene? That are just like somebody else took the picture of you and you don't seem to recognize that you're having a photo taken of you? Because Marty somehow has access to not just Kim's, but all of the kids' phones, and all of the kids' phones have these pictures. And I'm like, in what universe is this what teenagers do? If they, like...
Oh, I don't have any picture like that.
Oh, what? You don't? You don't have a single picture like that?
Okay, so back to Marty.
Okay, I'll just wrap this up real quick. Okay, so Marty started sending these pictures because the girl was handing out flyers saying, "You send the pictures and they'll be shown throughout the night." Marty starts sending these pictures, and I guess it automatically just shows whatever the newest one is, because it's showing just this flood of pictures from everybody in the room, and Popular Girl is like, "You hacked our phones, Kim?" And like, she's like, "It's not me. I'm not doing it." Meanwhile, Marty on the floor is maniacally laughing like, ha 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 ha, and it's very not ominous or whatever. And she picks up the phone and runs out of there, and she says, you're ruining my life, Marty." And then Judgy runs out after her and goes, "Kim!" And she turns around to Judgy and goes, "Why would you do that? You've ruined me. My social life is over." And then Judgy says, "Yeah, good." And we're like, what?
But now she's like, he doesn't have any hold on you anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't have any hold on you anymore. You're free. And Kim is like, oh.
So then,
and then she looks out the window at a wet concrete sign in the rain. And I'm like, who the hell puts why would you put down wet concrete, like, within a week of rain, but also not put anything over it so that, whatever. Either way.
There's a sign that says wet concrete. And, like, I don't know, like, would it just take longer to dry or what?
No, it would, okay. So here's a little science fact for you. Concrete doesn't dry. What happens when you've got wet concrete is the water is chemically reacting with the concrete, so when you add more water, it actually becomes harder. Like the wetter it is, I mean, obviously to a point, but it becomes harder the wetter it is. The thing is, like, it's still malleable though, so like, raindrops are just going to ruin the surface of that concrete. Either way, the pattern would be absolutely ruined by this stupid rain all over the concrete, right? Because it'd leave all these weird things. The whole point of a sidewalk is that it's a smooth surface for you to walk on so that you're not, like, rolling your ankle every time you walk anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, why wouldn't they make it smooth? Anyways, so crossfade to later, whatever. Kim has apparently gotten rid of the phone. She and Judgy are best friends again. They're walking out of school and they're both wearing overalls and they look absolutely terrible. And, like, we're supposed to think, oh, look at that, they're losers again. That's great. But I'm like, they didn't have to be. Like, couldn't... It would have been so easy for her to just not... Like, she could easily recover her social life. Right?
Yeah.
Instead of being a social pariah, she could just go to the people, explain what happened. Everyone would be like, wow, I'm really messed up about all those very non-embarrassing photos cutting out. But also, like, I get it. Like, you were basically being abused by your phone. So, like, I forgive you. And then she would have some friends, and then she would bring Judgy with her, because that's what a good friend would do, and that's what she was trying to do. Either way, all that happens, her friend's like, alright, I'll see you later, and she's like, bye, and then, like, she walks over to the place where the wet concrete was, and instead of wet concrete, now it's dried, and this really upsets me. They didn't even draw attention to this, but there are 2 sets of handprints in the concrete, and I think they're trying to imply that's Kim and Judgy's handprints.
Right.
Because Marty is under the wet concrete. Except, why would you ruin a sidewalk with 2 whole sets of handprints?
I mean,
they're right in the middle of the panel. Like, if you drew your initials in the corner, I get that. But not only are you ruining the sidewalk, you're ruining your hands. You're wearing nice clothes on a rainy day, and you're kneeling on the ground, sticking your stupid hands into a big thing of concrete.
I remember there was sidewalk getting redone when I was a kid, and it was happening while I was going to school, and my dad was like, oh, cool, you know, when I was a kid, I got to put my handprints in some concrete, and you'll get to do that too. That'll be so great. And I was so excited, I thought about it all day. I told all my friends. When I got home, it was already hardened.
Yeah, good.
And, like, but, like, why did my dad betray me?
Hold on,
like
how
that?
old were you at that time?
Like 8.
Okay, so an 8-year-old's hands are a certain size.
Mm-hmm.
2 13-year-olds' hands and a phone going into a sidewalk panel in the middle of the panel. I can't ride my bike on that. I can't, like, rollerblade like all the cool kids.
Okay, but, like,
I don't know how kids get around these days. But, like, you're ruining a sidewalk panel. Like, I understand putting your handprints in the corner, or, like, a single handprint, but not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 whole hands and a phone, which, by the way, in order to put the phone in there, you're gonna have to lift up concrete, put the phone underneath, and put the concrete back, which means you've got this big lump of concrete somewhere in the sidewalk panel. Why would you ruin it like that?
Yeah.
You've just made a perfectly serviceable piece of concrete totally useless to everyone. They're basically gonna have to redo it now.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, my friend is like,
she goes over there, and Marty was there, and she goes like, "Hey, Marty," and Marty, like, through the thing goes like, "I'm glad you came to see me, Kim. It's been so long since we've talked." And she's like, "Yeah, Judgy would really judge me hard if we
she knew about us.
If she knew about us," which is like, why do you still want to talk to Marty? You didn't learn anything. But also, I don't know if you noticed this. I only noticed this
She's got a
this
hammer.
time. She's got a hammer in her backpack, and she's reaching into her backpack, and she's pulling it out, but then she stops and thinks about it, and then kind of slides it back into her backpack, and then the camera pans away before we figure out whether she's going to dig him out.
Which is such a forced way to, like, inception us, because it's like, but we saw her say, yeah, I'm still here. So
yeah, he's like, hey, are you still there? And she's like looking all like, I don't know if I want to do it. And it's like, okay, if you really don't know that much, then you're not going to do it.
Like, it's that easy to just get up and walk away. He's not, like... So you did it. But whatever. So that's the end of the episode, and it closes with
Another thing of the curious.
because, like, it's like, but it's so funny. We never know what we'll do when we send that text or blah, blah, blah. And it's like, was this supposed to be about cyberbullying? Because, like, I just
what
won't.
was it about?
Because I just won't get an AI phone. Like, that's simple. Like, Alexa doesn't care about my social standing in high school.
Yeah.
So.
You know, like, this isn't even warning us about the dangers of AI because, like, this is not how AI works. That's not where technology's at right now. This is also not, like, I mean...
Even if it wasn't something...
If anything, it's closer to a thing about abuse, but, like, it doesn't accurately do that either.
Because, like, you can't, like, most, like, real abuse, your friend isn't going to just pull you out of the relationship and say, quit it. Yeah. And you're not just going to listen.
And Judgy sucks.
Yeah.
She's, like, I don't know how you can draw a moral lesson about her from the episode at all. Because, like, she sucks. She's an awful friend.
Yeah. No, she...
Like, what are we supposed to take away from her? Like, seriously, what are we supposed to... Name one thing, one good thing that we're supposed to take away from her.
Is that...
See, you can't do it.
If...
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the moral is if your friend succeeds and starts growing beyond you, it's well within your rights to sabotage them. Yeah. If it means that they'll be free.
If they get to step up in life, you gotta make sure to pull them back down.
Yeah. We thought it was Kim's story, but really it was Judgy's story all along.
That's why we don't know her name.
Yeah. I sort of do, but it's never confirmed. But yeah.
Nilly, something like that?
Something.
Nelly?
Millie Vanilli. Yeah.
Millie is exactly the kind of name for one of those Judgy characters too, right? Like glasses, judgy look.
Yeah. Overalls.
Millie. Overalls, loser.
Oh my gosh, actually
ruins
Millie,
a thing of concrete. No, I will not get rid of that. I'm not letting that go. They ruined a whole panel of sidewalk.
Oh my gosh. You know, Millie was the judgy friend in Freaks and Geeks. So it actually...
See? It works.
It all comes together.
Her name probably is, like, her last name is probably Judge, though. Like, Judge or Judgy or something.
Her mom works at the bureau.
Oh. In Freaks and Geeks? Or
no, I'm just making it up.
What bureau?
The Bureau of Judgy People.
Okay.
Okay, so this ran kind of long.
This ran hella long. So why don't we do the next episode? Like the next episode 2 Creeped Out. We'll cover one episode per video.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the way I'm going to phrase it. Okay.
Yeah. So we're decided you're in on the loop too, viewers.
Yeah. We said at the beginning 2, we'll do 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Next time they can look forward to our talking about slapstick.
Yeah. And it's pretty much all downhill from there, I think, for at least season 1. We'll see.
Even though this episode was definitely bad, somehow, probably still downhill.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Later.
Later.